Nucky Williams, Nella Marlini, Dick Pretty, and me. I finished eating my cupcake, licked some frosting off my fingers. Doc Travis moved past me, walking on his knuckles. He grinned at me and smacked his lips. I made my way over to the bar. The bartender was a tall blonde Russian named Anatoly, who was also Bud's butler. "Another scotch, please, Anatoly." "Of course." Anatoly was wearing a white shirt and pants and a red velvet vest. He had 2 fingers missing from his right hand. I'd heard he'd been this rich count in Russia and got his fingers shot off when he was fighting in the revolution against the communists. "Were you really a count?" He shrugged. "Past is past. In America, no one cares about past. I am trying to be good American now, Danny." "I care about the past." I took a solemn sip of my scotch, as though toasting the past. Then somebody slapped me on the back. It was Police Commissioner Nuffer. "What's the good word, Danny?" "I can't think of one." Nuffer laughed like I'd made a hell of a joke and slapped me on the back again. His double-breasted suit was like a sausage casing that could barely contain its contents. Anatoly gave him another drink. He took a gulp of it. His face was red and sweaty, and he looked like a man with a fever. Bud had told me last week I wasn't acting friendly enough to his friends, so I made an effort with Nuffer. "So how are you doing these days, Mr. Nuffer?" "Hanging in there, my boy, hanging in there, as the condemned man said on his way to the gallows." Nuffer's eyes narrowed as he looked around the room. "Quite a shindig tonight. Your boss knows how to throw 'em. What do you think the odds are of my getting laid? Look at that tasty-looking young lady on Lieutenant Otey's arm. Jack, join us." Jack Otey came over with a big busted redhead in an orange dress. Nuffer was about eye level with her chest, which seemed to suit him just fine. "Please introduce us, Jack." "Well, this here's Clover, I believe," said Otey. "Or was it Daisy?"
"Violet," said the girl. "Violet Gilbertson. Pleased to meet you."
"Pleased to meet you, Miss Gilbertson. I'm Wendell Nuffer."
"No kidding. My daddy's name is Wendell."
"And I'll bet you're a daddy's girl, Miss Gilbertson." Violet smiled down at Nuffer. It looked like she'd used about half a tube of lipstick on her mouth.
"Definitely. And you can call me Violet."
"I hope I have a chance to call you Violet many, many more times tonight."
"Well, you never know,"
she said coyly, swaying a couple inches closer to Nuffer's flushed face, and then she looked me over.
"You got a name?"
"You mean you don't know who you're talking to?" said Otey. A cigarette dangled out of his smirking mouth. He had a big, square-jawed head that was handsome in an ugly way. Or maybe vice versa. I'd heard that he was an expert in the 3rd degree, that he had a special pair of pigskin gloves that he put on whenever he was about to work somebody over. "This here's Danny Landon," continued Otey. "Two-gun Danny Landon." "He's practically famous," said Nuffer. He and Otey exchanged a look.
"In certain circles."
"Famous?
"Gosh, Danny,"
said Violet, nearly smacking Nuffer in the face with her breasts as she swung them around toward me.
"I'm sorry I didn't know who you were. See, I ain't lived here very long, so I don't know who everyone is yet."
"Where did you come here from?" asked Nuffer.
"Iowa. I was Miss Iowa Pork Queen in 1933.
"You don't say."
"Yeah, when I won that, I thought, Violet, your luck is finally changing, and I decided it was a good time to leave Iowa."
"It's probably always a good time to leave Iowa," Otey said, and then we all heard a lot of screaming and crashing around and commotion in the next room. Everybody went rushing out to see what was up. I saw Darla stumbling up the stairs. She was crying and her arm was bleeding and she had blood all over her gold gown. Bud Seitz and Dick Pretty were hurrying up the stairs to help her.